Loading data into the SGE Circus tools is often the starting point for all analysis and optimization. Therefore, the data loading routine, which is very similar for all tools, will be explained now. Various file formats are supported to load data from. Commonly used formats are MDF3 and 4, text-based files or ASCII files, spreadsheet files if you have Microsoft Excel or Apache OpenOffice installed, AVL indication files, Horiba emission test bench files, and all files can also be loaded from zip compressed files directly. Some other file formats are also supported that are not so commonly used. Multiple files can be loaded simultaneously. So in this case, we select the two MDF files to load, and we will experience a feature now that automatically the data from the corresponding I files in the same directory will be loaded and synchronized. When we proceed now, a dialog will be presented asking for additional options. So for example, we can decide which access area to load. We can force the access to be interpolated to a fixed sample rate. We can use a logical load condition. We check this here. We will see later on what happens then. We can modify channel names to not contain the device names, and different other options are available. As usual for the SGE Circus, all input fields are documented, and the documentation can be quickly accessed via shortcuts or the corresponding context menu. When proceeding, we will be asked for the channel names to load. In the list of available channels, we find, beside the channels of the engine management system, also channels with appended I file. These are the channels from the automatically loaded I file in the same directory. These channels will be converted from the crank angle base to the time base of the MDF measurement. Below the channels from file, we also find a list of calculated channels. We can choose now from this list any number of calculated channels, and the calculation for these channels will be asked later on. In the next step, we will be asked to define the calculated channels. In this case, we have chosen one calculated channel. And additionally, before we said that we want to use a logical load condition, this is also a calculated channel and will be asked now. Calculations are defined in a graphical flowchart manner. In this case, we just want to build the difference between the intake and the exhaust pressure. To implement complex calculations, we can choose from a big amount of objects that allow to perform all types of mathematical operations. To modify a calculation, we simply add objects to the calculation chart and connect them using lines. This way, it is very simple to implement user-defined calculations. And as usual, we have a history available here to quickly recall calculations done before. When finished, we can confirm our calculation and proceed loading data. Finally, the data gets loaded and can be used in the corresponding tools like the Data Artist, Map Artist or Model Artist.